Right, so let's jump in. So for those of you who have stumbled in here by accident from the street, we're at an Olas event. Basically, Olas enables everyone to own a share of AI. And specifically today, that means we allow you to own either an entire AI autonomous agent or a share in such an agent. But why does that matter? And also, where are we in the journey with autonomous agents? We have a piece on this on the Valerie blog, so you can read the long-form version of what I'll say there. But basically, our team at Valerie believes that there's a convergence happening of three types of evolutions. So on the one hand, we have the web, read, write, own, obviously coined by others, but we're probably all here familiar with this notion of the Web3 unlocking the ownership of digital assets and data. Then in terms of AI, maybe less well known, but originally when people were doing sort of AI research, a lot of the algorithms were rules-based, so people would handwrite rules and actually do quite sophisticated things, like the first chatbots were like this. Then they realized that actually rather than writing rules to be the ultimate algorithm, they could write rules to learn the algorithm from the data. So that's like been with us hence. It's a very powerful paradigm which gave us all these amazing technologies, including ChatGPT, which we're using these days. But really, the big goal of, I guess, most AI research is that ultimately, in some way or another, they're all pointing towards like sort of agentic AI. Because that's obviously the holy grail. If you have like some sort of software system that can take actions in the real world on behalf of an owner, well, that's very powerful. And so, every big research organization, and certainly the OpenAI and the likes, are working on making their models more agentic. Now, the final piece is around UX. So that's something which we've discussed a lot internally at Valerie, and we feel quite strongly about, is that a lot of the first digital experiences were very much focused around viewing. So people would put up a website, and then someone else could read that, right? And that sort of was the beginning of the internet. Then at some point, people realized that actually it'd be cool if others could write to your website. And then this whole idea of Web 2 came along. People created things like Facebook and so on, which obviously we're stuck with still, and they're fantastic often as products. But they also conditioned us as humans immensely. Often if you go around and you talk to someone, they're immediately jumping to this kind of user experience, right? They thinking of like an app where the user is sitting there and interacting with it all the time, getting stuff done, being tied to the screen, like reacting, proactive reacting. And that is certainly a fine user experience, but actually it's not the only experience, right? We have other products in the physical world, which we're very familiar with, like a washing machine. No one sits in front of the washing machine to watch it wash, right? You put things in, you turn it on, you go away, come back, it's done. The new kind of products which in the real world we use are self-driving cars, right? So you get in, you actually forget that you're in a self-driving car after 2 minutes of, this is kind of funny, to like just getting to your target, right? And so there's a whole space of applications which are totally underserved at the moment, where it's a fully autonomous experience, where the product basically generates desirable outcomes for you. And now, the big thing is, if you can achieve products which you can own, where you own the algorithm, you own the data, it is yours. Like the same, my shoes are mine, my trousers mine, all this kind of stuff. They're yours, they're not rented from some centralized entity. Where they're agentic, i.e. they can do things for you, and these things are valuable outcomes to you. That's very, very powerful products. And that's what ultimately we're here for. So, like everything, it starts small. So what we've done so far is that Olas has basically all the builders in Olas, some of them here as well, like 8baller needs to raise his hat. You should talk to him. Others, like the guys from Gnosis in the first row here. Collectively, all the builders in Olas have basically contributed to more than 720,000 transactions from autonomous AI agents. And these are software agents participating in very different use cases. But one is particularly dominant, we'll talk about in a moment. Long story short, all these agents actually use, for the technical audience here, what's called account abstraction. So basically, the agents have on-chain a wallet and an off-chain a wallet, and they use it in a smart way to kind of segregate where the assets are and for security and UX of the agent. And we are using the safe, and actually on Gnosis chain are now at 18% of lifetime safe transactions. That was 10% at ETH Denver a couple months ago. Someone in the audience just pointed it out as well. So you see we're like really taking off there. Now, Olas is a protocol and a stack. So there's these, the protocol are basically smart contracts. They're deployed on various chains. And then the stack is basically a convenience for developers to build autonomous AI agents on top. Those agents run off-chain. And really, ultimately, what we want in order for people to own their agents, we believe that we need to create entire economies of agents where these agents can serve each other. Because if you ultimately want agents to generate valuable outcomes for you, a single agent isn't going to cut it. You need many agents, and you need, like humans, like organizations of agents. And that's what we're therefore creating. Now, on a technical level, what this means is that there's very different ways in which you can basically, whoops. Oh, interesting technical feature. There's very different kind of agents which you can build on the Olas stack. So these sovereign types of agents are very simple to understand. So it's basically open source software on your computer. You can run it there or on your cloud instance or your decentralized cloud instance. Anyway, you're under the control. You're having control over this autonomous agent, and you see all aspects of it, right? You can touch the software, you can see it all. There's also a use case where this is actually not desirable. So let's say you're a DAO and you want an autonomous agent. It would be very undesirable for you all to trust me to run that particular agent, right? That's a non-starter. So that's what we have these decentralized agents for. Basically, the same software you can then run as a decentralized system where you have multiple nodes, and they collectively make up this autonomous agent. So we refer to them as decentralized autonomous agents. And then the very exciting part is when you have multiple of them interacting. So let's look at some products. But before we do that, actually, just quickly, it's kind of strange, isn't it? On the second try, it takes the submission. Anyway, so everything I said so far is obviously an open protocol with all these mechanisms being permissionless. So anyone can go, you don't have to ask anyone here in the room for permission. You can go, you can build your own agent. You can run an agent. You can launch entire use cases and get incentives for them. You can contribute in other ways by marketing the story and the narrative and whatever anyone's building. You can contribute in a more DeFi native way, and then you can actually govern the protocol. So what kind of autonomous agents do we have today? One big one is focused on DAO marketing. So in this case, basically we have one of those decentralized agents, as I mentioned before. The Olas DAO runs one. And basically this agent right now is switching towards rewarding discussions around a specific hashtag. So up to today, it was like Olas Network, now it's Olas Network, and it's another hashtag which referenced this event, right? And so basically, as people start talking about this, this agent will basically keep scoring them, and then it will also generate its own content for the DAO. That's one example. Another one is around autonomous governance. Again, a decentralized agent where basically you have a bunch of tokens, someone's bugging you to vote with them, You want to delegate, but there isn't a human who you could delegate to. Okay, you can delegate to an autonomous AI agent. This is actually a very exciting use case with a lot of challenges as well. If you're interested in this, come talk to us. Personal companion, autonomous science, autonomous trader, many more use cases. I would suggest you come talk to us after to learn more. One which I'll leave you with before I hand over to the main part of the program, which is Oak's presentation, is the use case of the Olas Predict. So as we were seeing on the slide, we have these sovereign agents, these decentralized agents, and then these agent economies, these multi-agent use cases. And Olas Predict is one of them. So there isn't like a single agent which makes prediction markets, quote unquote. Instead, a lot of different agents and a lot of different instances of these agent types come together to create that economy, and it's called Olas Predict. Claris folks are in the room. They're part of this. A whole bunch of other protocols are part of it. Basically, multiple protocols, multiple agents, all collectively bring together a fully AI-based prediction market economy where the questions are AI generated, the liquidity is provided by autonomous AI agents, the trading agents are autonomous AI agents, the predictions are done using AI models, and then the markets are resolved using autonomous AI agents. It's end-to-end AI. You can go and participate as a human, but there's really no point. It's autonomous agents land. And the exciting thing here is that, again, this has been very, very active as a product. So yeah, I think that's where I leave it and hand over to Oak.